And welcome to this week's edition of Newsmakers. It's my pleasure to welcome into the award-winning JATV Media Studios Rosalyn Ryan. She's the CEO of the Emersion Orchestra. And that's just intriguing as the dickens, Rosalyn. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's nice to have you here.
It's nice to
You
be here.
are a relative newcomer to Janesville on a permanent basis, but you
Right.
have been visiting for a long time.
We actually bought our house in '92, so we have been in this community since then.
But on a permanent basis,
On a permanent basis, it's probably been within the past year.
yeah.
Yes.
And welcome to the community.
Thank you.
Welcome to the community.
It's so fun.
Well-
The people here are amazing.
Well, and you have an incredible opportunity that you are out getting to know the public a whole lot better
Right.
with the Emersion Orchestra.
Yes.
Intriguing. Tell me more. What is it
Okay.
all about?
So pretty much what we decided was we wanted to have something that was professional, that would bring the beauty of classical music and all of its wonderful things, the relaxation, the sounds, the excitement of it, the composers, the stories behind the music, and bring that out in a professional way, but then also have a chance for other people to participate with us and play with us and join us. So not only are we forming the Immersion, which is going to be a fully paid, complete, full orchestra. We're anticipating about 60 players.
Okay.
And a music director, but we're going to have a second orchestra that's called the Overture Orchestra, and that is going to allow the rest of the people to play. So let's say you haven't picked up an instrument in a long time.
This is your chance
This is your chance
to
to do
get
that.
back involved in
Yes.
a structure that is going to allow you to grow with grace,
Exactly.
which is exciting.
And it goes for the same thing with getting people who this is their first time, they're not sure if they're going to like it, they don't know if they want to make the commitment. They've played music in school or they've joined some kind of a community or volunteer-based orchestra. They would have a chance to come and play with us and get to know orchestral music again, get to be involved with the orchestra, get to play different places, get exposed to different audiences, and either hone their talent or have fun with it.
Okay. This, as a orchestra, it's been somebody's dream for a while. You just recently got your corporate papers filed. You're in the middle of getting your 501c3 charitable status established with the Internal Revenue Service and
Right. We're just
all
waiting
of
now.
those necessary things that you have to do to pull this together. When the founders of this were first talking, I'm sure they did a situation analysis to see
Yes.
where were the gaps in the existing music community that we have in this region. Did they specifically hone in on the area of nurturing young musicians who want to be a part of a large paid orchestra? Or were they thinking initially that we could do something different with a paid orchestra and music education?
I think it was a combination of things. First of all, we saw the need through the eyes of the musicians. So we had done an awful lot of focus groups and planning and talking to people to just find out what they were interested in doing, not just as a community, but much broader than that. And we came across the fact that there is so much talent in this area, and it's not right here. And a lot of the things that had been done in the past were very formal and very structured, and you do this, you behave this way, you play this way. And we wanted a chance to really bring music to the community in a way that hadn't been done before. So we're focusing on things like education. We're going to explain the stories behind the music. We're going to talk about the conductors. We're going to talk about the composers. We're going to talk about what was going on in the countries in terms of history at the time the music was being written. We're going to talk about who is friends with who and what their lives were like, and bring a little bit more of
the personality of music, and bring it to home.
Yes.
You have a long-standing music director from this area who is now going to be your musical director.
Yes.
Introduce us to Rob Tomorrow.
Okay, Dr. Rob Tomorrow is a forensic musicologist, which I'd never heard of before, but it's absolutely fascinating. His talent is so exacting that he can literally listen to an orchestra play, and if you're not familiar with orchestral music, there are line after line after line as each of the groups of instruments has their tones to play, and all those lines make up the sound that you hear. So he is able to listen to an orchestra play the music and actually transcribe those tones into music itself. Very talented on that
And I know
front.
he has served as an expert witness in a variety of different music copyright disputes. Where that forensic music background comes into play is when somebody has 10 lines in 4 stanzas in a particular piece of music that sounds a little bit like somebody else's, and these things are copyrighted generally.
Exactly.
And those
And
disputes
you want to verify
happen.
and make sure that somebody's not taking somebody else's music, or somebody's not being true to the form.
But even more so,
He
Rob
can do
has
that.
spent a lot of time conducting not only the Bullitt Janesville Symphony, but orchestras around the country, if not around the world.
Around the world. He has played around the world. And part of what we're going to be doing is taking this music around the world. We already have plans to bring the world's premier pianoforte musician from Austria to come for a residency in November, to play with the orchestra and to do different kinds of things. We have been offered to play in London, so we're going to be setting that up and organizing a trip for members of the community that might want to come along with the orchestra as they go and do things.
That's a lot coming together in a short period of time. Are you in that? You're forming the corporate structure. You've got a venue lined up, or multiple venues in mind?
Multiple venues.
Okay, tell us about that.
We're going to be playing in multiple places because, again, the objective of this is to get it to the people. It's to play where they are. So it's not always going to be a formal orchestra structure in a music hall with audience in their seats. Sometimes it's going to be playing in a park. Sometimes it's going to be playing at Rotary Gardens. Sometimes it's going to be playing outside a coffee shop, inside a coffee shop. Different schools where students might have a chance to engage.
So
And
I'm suspecting that then you're going to have not only the full orchestra of 60 players, but quartets and quintets and smaller groups that can actually, as an ensemble, take their music to where the
Other
people are,
places.
which is exciting.
Exactly. Because the beauty of this is it all works together as an orchestra, but I don't think people are aware of the little pieces. Like, for example, one of the things I'd done that made me want to do this, I was on the board for the Chicago Symphony Orchestra for years. And one of the things that they did was had the brass section travel, and they would do brass section pieces. And it was incredible to watch these musicians who were specialists on a certain type of instrument play the music that was designed and written for them.
Which this community outreach is just a phenomenal opportunity for people to regain the appreciation for the absolute beauty of classical music.
Right.
You're in the process of recruiting musicians, I would presume. You're trying to get yourselves organized. When will we start seeing some public things that will tell us that the Emersion Orchestra is real and live, and we can touch it and we can feel it, and more importantly, we can hear it?
Well, we have already signed our first contract, and it is going to be for a version of the smaller orchestra, and we're going to play at a local hospital's fundraiser.
Okay.
And we are doing that as a gift to them to get exposure for us and to show the world the kinds of things that we can do. And then the larger orchestra we're anticipating is going to be ready for its first performances in November.
In November. That's a lot to pull together in relatively short order.
It is.
Has the community kind of opened its arms and welcomed you the way one would
Absolutely.
expect it to?
Beyond my expectations. I mean, we're working from a perspective of partnership to work with other people, and everywhere we've gone, everybody has said, yes, we want to be a part of this.
Well, for those who have not spent a lot of time with classical music, it is not necessarily snooty highball. There's an incredible beauty and foundation for the modern music we hear today.
Exactly.
It's coming directly out of the classics.
Yes.
And as a student of music and music history, I have to share, I was in Strasbourg about a month ago, and walking through the square, you had that sense that you were walking back into musicology history,
Yeah.
and you almost wanted to burst out with an aria.
Yeah.
And I was tempted, but we knew
you
better.
didn't.
How can we learn more about the Emersion Orchestra?
We do have a website. It's www and then T for the and E for immersion, ORCH for orchestra. So it kind of looks like a funny spelling of torch.org. And we are in the process of having that redone and upgraded so that it can accept ticket sales and donations and sponsorships. And right now we've just got it as something to go look at and hear about us. But it's going to be developed with our agency partner, and that will be a constant source of news. We're also working very closely with APG and all of their resources in terms of television and newspaper and radio and social media. So we will be everywhere.
Well,
You'll be hearing about us a
it's an
lot.
exciting time.
It's incredible.
It's a wonderful time to bring forward
Yes.
a new outlet for musicians in particular, because musicians love to play, they love to perform, and they need a venue. And sometimes when you have that opportunity, it's kind of nirvana for a musician to have the opportunity to work with somebody as esteemed as your music director, Ram Tomorrow,
Right.
and a structure like what the Emersion Orchestra, I have a sense, is going to be.
Yeah.
How can we reach out and keep in contact with what you are and what you're doing quickly?
I would say the best way is to check the website.
Okay.
Contact information is there.
Okay.
There's a volunteer sign-up form. There's a place for you to reach us directly by typing in a question that goes straight to us, and we'll be able to get back to you.
Rosalyn Ryan, CEO, the Emersion Orchestra. It's
Thank
a
you.
pleasure. I can name that tune in how many notes?
I'm not a musician. I'm a business person.
You are the business person, and actually that'll be
Exactly.
a conversation another time, because we'll have you back as a guest.
Great.
My guest on this week's edition of Newsmaker is Rosalyn Ryan. She's the Chief Executive Officer of the Emersion Orchestra. Stay tuned, because they have a lot of things in the works, and you can reach out and learn more at their website, et.etorch.org.
TE.
Yeah.
The Immersion
The honor,
Orchestra. ORCH.
we'll get it. We'll
.org.
get it. But that's the
Yes.
place to be. Rosalind, thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.